Google recently updated their deep research feature by integrating Gemini 2.5 Pro, their latest and greatest AI model, and in my opinion, the best AI model out there right now. I have a few other videos and posts on my YouTube and social media about Gemini 2.5 Pro and the things you can do with it. It is mind-blowing. And the fact that they've added it to their deep research feature has got me really excited. And so we're going to test it out in this video. We're going to see how it works. Now, just for some context, if you haven't heard of deep research as a product in general, Google actually had this product about a year ago. And essentially what it does is you can ask it a topic. If you are trying to research something for a presentation, a report, or just to learn something new, you ask Google's deep research, which they launched a year ago, and it goes and scours the web. It goes through like hundreds of websites and collects a lot of information and packages it up for you. And then OpenAI launched something similar late last year, and then Grok followed. So all the major AI companies are now building this deep research feature or tool into their AI models. And most recently, OpenAI's deep research feature was probably the best in my opinion. But with Google's Gemini 2.4 Pro model powering deep research, I'm excited to see if it is better now than OpenAI. So let's begin. So I'm here on my Gemini screen. If you have Gemini Advanced, you'll get access to deep research. I think you can access deep research 2.5 Pro for free, but it's very limited. So I suggest getting the $20 per month plan with Gemini Advanced. And then you click on the deep research button down here, right? It's a little toggle that you can click on, and then you ask your question. So I'm going to do something that is relevant to today's day and age and what's on the news recently. And let's say I want to get up to speed on what's happening with the trade tariffs. I haven't been keeping up with the news. I want to know how it's impacting stocks and markets and what that means for right? So I'm just going to add that in there and I'm going to send it over. So the first thing that deep research does is it looks at this topic and then it kind of builds out a research plan. So it's trying to understand what exactly you're looking for here. And so it's just thinking right now, and we'll get a research plan in a moment. And here we go. We've got this research plan. And so what it says is, find out the most recent official announcements and news reports, identify specific countries, yada, yada, analyze performance, search for financial analysis, and so on. And so there's an 8-step plan here, and I can edit it if I want to, but I'm just going to say, let's start research. So it started the research, and you can see it opens up a kind of a canvas on the right-hand side. If you don't know what a canvas is, I've got other videos on it, but canvas is essentially a separate pane that displays information, and you have your chat box on the left-hand side over here. So as you can see, it is thinking. It is a reasoning model, and so it's kind of like just thinking about the topic, the research plan, and what it should be doing to thoroughly research this topic. So this might take a few minutes, maybe sometimes it can go up to 10-15 minutes, especially if it's a topic like this, which is sort of breaking news happening right now, tons of reports and stuff coming out around it. And we're asking about the greater impact on the global economy. So it may take a long while. I'm going to go brew myself a cup of coffee and I'm going to come back. So I'm just going to kind of let this run and speed it up a bit maybe, or pause it, and then I'll come back to it. All right, we're back, and deep research has finally done its thing, and it's produced this massive report for us to read through. So as you can see here, it starts off with an executive summary, which basically summarizes all of the findings. And as you keep reading, you see that it has these little chevron icons to show you where it got that information from. So it's got the citations. And so here we have the tariff landscape, what happened initially, what are the numbers? So kind of just setting the context, what are the pre-existing tariffs and so on. And it keeps going. And then the market reaction, performance analysis. So basically everything that I was asking for, I want to know what exactly was happening. What is the current state of tariffs? What is the market reaction? Broader economic consequences. And if you keep scrolling, you've got the global response, trade dynamics. So it is a massive report, as you can see here, implication for individual investors, which is also specifically what I asked for. And now I can like look at all of this, look through the citations if I want to learn more. But I have this really good report now that'll get me up to speed on what exactly is happening in this space. So, that's a really good example of how to use the deep research feature. And if you're using it on the other products as well, it's kind of similar, but I really like how Gemini 2.5 Pro has improved the deep research feature here. Cause, as I said, Google has had this feature for a while. And I think with it being powered by Gemini 2.5 Pro, it is a lot better. It reads a lot better just at first glance. It's structured a lot better and it's more comprehensive, it looks like. I'm going to switch over to another research that had already started as well in parallel. And I'm going to share some more ideas around how you can use deep research. So here's another report I asked it to create on the Model Context Protocol, MCP. I've done a lot of work with Model Context Protocol before. I've created a lot of videos and content. I've created a 3-part blog series on my website to completely explain what MCP is. And to do that, not only did I borrow from my personal experiences with MCP, I also did a bunch of research online to see what else was out there, what other people were building with it, and how else other people were explaining it, what questions people are asking. So all of this is to say, when I'm creating some content, I'm doing some research as well. And deep research is a powerful way to get that done for you without you having to spend a lot of time researching. So for this specific post, for example, I could have used Google Deep Research and had it generate all of this content for me upfront, all the research on like what exactly is it, how does it work, what is the architecture, what are some examples and how is it used, what tools are out there, what people are doing with it, what problems it solves. It's the use cases, applications, it's got everything here in this massive report. So this is super helpful if I'm researching something for a piece of content that I'm writing, an article. If you're studying something, it's really great to research. It's if you want to create a report for someone at work, or a presentation, again, deep research, powerful tool. So I suggest using deep research. Try to make a habit out of using it, right? Like it, and it's not just it's not just for like work or creating content. It's also a really great way to just study something or like learn about a new concept in general, just for your own purposes, right? Like you want to know what's happening in the world, ask deep research, let it collect all that information for you instead of you having to go out and find that. Because a lot of times people just don't even do that in the first place because they're just not sure where to begin. And so if you use a product like deep research, whether it's from Google Gemini or OpenAI, you will get all of that research done for you. And then all you have to do is just consume the content. You'll see the citations. I do think, like sometimes, like everyone's got their own political beliefs and I did the tariff stuff, but in general, it's kind of very neutral, in terms of the content that comes back to you. It's not like biased in any way. And then you can form your own opinions. You can read through everything, sort of do your research, form your opinions. So it's a great way for any kind of research, whether it's personal use or work related. A couple more things I want to share here is, you'd notice there's a little export to documents, export to docs button up here, which is great because now I could just click this, it goes to a Google Doc and I have all of this content in a Google Doc and I can maybe create my blog post in that Google Doc and publish it to my website. So really nifty feature. The other cool feature here is the generate audio overview feature, where basically it's kind of like Notebook LM, where it turns this whole thing into a podcast conversation. And so if you don't want to read through everything and you want an even more sort of summarized but fun way to consume the content, use this. It creates a podcast, you listen to it, and it sounds great. And it's very entertaining as well. So that's Gemini's deep research feature backed by the latest model. Really powerful model, and it's made the deep research feature even more powerful. Go try it out. Let me know what you're searching. Thanks for watching.